Tony Elumelu is known as one of the wealthiest and most influential men in Africa, but behind the billions, there's an untold story about him that will leave you shocked and surprised. What if I told you that Tony's rise to power wasn't just about hard work, but as a result of a shocking secret which I will reveal to you in this video? Stay with us as we unravel the shocking truths and uncover the untold secrets of Tony Elumelu's incredible wealth. By the end of this video, you'll see why his success story isn't just about money. Tony Elumelu's rise to becoming a Nigerian billionaire and global business mogul didn't begin in boardrooms or luxury offices. It began in a small town in northeastern Nigeria, where his story began like so many others, with humble beginnings. Born on March 22, 1963, in Jalingo, the capital of Taraba State, Tony Elumelu was one of 5 children in a modest family. His parents weren't wealthy, but they valued education above all else. Tony's parents made sure that he and his siblings had access to the education that would shape their futures. Education wasn't just a luxury, it was a tool. Tony attended St. Patrick's Primary School in Jalingo before moving south to Delta State, where he completed his secondary education at Federal Government College in Warri. This move wasn't just geographical, it was transformative. It exposed Tony to a new way of life, a broader worldview, and sparked his curiosity to learn more. This hunger for knowledge would soon propel him into uncharted territories. After secondary school, Tony's journey took him to Ambrose Ali University in Edo State, where he studied economics. Although he graduated with a lower second-class degree, his ambitions were far from limited by the academic challenges he faced. He wasn't about to let his grades define his destiny. Driven by a thirst for more, he pursued a master's degree in economics at the University of Lagos. And while many would have seen his grades as a roadblock, Tony saw them as a stepping stone to a much bigger future. His early experiences in education set the foundation for what would come next, a relentless drive to succeed against all odds. But that was just the beginning. Tony's journey would take him into the unpredictable world of banking, where every twist and turn would shape his destiny. Tony Elumelu's first real exposure to the corporate world didn't come from the comfort of a plush office, it came from the trenches of Nigeria's banking sector, where his path was filled with challenges, rejections, and, ultimately, breakthroughs. After completing his master's degree, Tony quickly applied for the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) program, a mandatory service for all Nigerian graduates. He was placed at Union Bank, one of Nigeria's most prominent commercial banks at the time. Here, Tony experienced the fast-paced world of banking, and it didn't take long for him to realize that this was the industry he wanted to be in. But just as quickly as it began, Tony's time at Union Bank ended in disappointment. Despite his passion and drive, he was let go after his 1-year service without any offer to stay on. For many, this would have been a devastating blow, a sign that their dreams of a career in banking were over. But for Tony, it was simply a detour. Undeterred, Tony moved into a completely different industry. He took on a sales job, working as a representative for a copier company, selling printers and photocopiers to businesses. This wasn't the glamorous world of banking he had hoped for, but Tony found the experience invaluable. It sharpened his communication skills, taught him the art of negotiation, and reinforced his ability to persevere in the face of adversity. Just when Tony Elumelu thought his banking dreams were fading into the background, the universe threw him a curveball, one that would change his life forever. In the late 1980s, All States Trust Bank, a relatively unknown commercial bank in Nigeria, opened up a recruitment drive specifically targeting young graduates. This was the break Tony had been waiting for. But there was one problem: the job description had a major hurdle. To be eligible, candidates needed to have graduated with a minimum of an upper second-class degree. Tony, with his lower second-class degree, found himself automatically disqualified. But Tony wasn't one to accept defeat without a fight. Instead of walking away, Tony did something unexpected. In his cover letter, he openly acknowledged his academic shortcoming but boldly promised, "Even though I do not meet the requirements, if you give me the chance, I will prove myself." He had no guarantee this would work, but he knew that if he didn't try, he'd never know. Tony's boldness paid off. To his surprise, All States Trust Bank responded, inviting him for an interview along with hundreds of other hopefuls. What happened next was nothing short of extraordinary. Despite the odds stacked against him, Tony's persistence and confidence won over the interview panel. And just like that, he landed his first real job in banking. Tony wasn't just satisfied with getting the job, he was determined to prove his worth. From day one, he threw himself into his work, earning a reputation for his commitment, drive, and leadership potential. Within just 12 months, Tony had risen through the ranks from a data analyst to the role of branch manager, a feat that was unheard of in the Nigerian banking industry. This rapid career progression was a testament to Tony's exceptional work ethic and visionary leadership. But this was just the beginning of something much bigger. At just 27 years old, Tony Elumelu had already achieved what most of his peers could only dream of. He had gone from being a fresh graduate to managing a branch at All States Trust Bank. But Tony wasn't content with just being successful within the confines of one bank. He had bigger dreams. And, as he would soon discover, sometimes achieving big dreams means taking big risks. In 1997, Tony made one of the boldest decisions of his career. At just 34 years old, he left All States Trust Bank to acquire a struggling financial institution, Standard Trust Bank, STB. The bank was in dire straits, teetering on the edge of collapse. Most people saw it as a sinking ship. But Tony saw something different. He saw an opportunity, a chance to build something from nothing. The deal was risky. Tony led a team of young, determined visionaries to acquire the troubled bank in a distress sale. The stakeholders of the bank, desperate to rid themselves of a failing institution, handed over the reins to Tony, placing him at the helm as the CEO. At that time, Tony was the youngest CEO of any Nigerian bank. But his age wasn't going to stop him. He knew that turning around a bank in such a poor financial state would take more than just leadership. It would require a bold and strategic plan to revive the institution and set it on a path to success. Tony and his team quickly went to work. They renamed the bank Standard Trust Bank, signaling a fresh start. Their plan was ambitious. 1. Revitalize the struggling bank and restore profitability. 2. Elevate STB into one of Nigeria's top 10 banks within 7 years. 3. Transform STB into one of the top 3 banks in Nigeria by year 10. The plan may have seemed far-fetched to some, but Tony and his team weren't afraid to aim high. And in a little over 7 months, they had already achieved something extraordinary. They turned a bank with just 6.49 million naira in revenue into one that was pulling in over 473 million naira. The turnaround was nothing short of miraculous. Tony Elumelu's leadership had not only revived the bank, it had put him in the spotlight as one of the brightest stars in Nigeria's banking sector. But the best was yet to come. By 2005, Tony Elumelu had already proven himself as a formidable force in the banking world. Standard Trust Bank had undergone a complete turnaround, but Tony wasn't satisfied. He had bigger dreams that went beyond the Nigerian market. He wanted to build something truly continental, something that could compete on a global scale. In the same year 2005, Tony led one of the most significant moves in Nigerian banking history, the merger of Standard Trust Bank with United Bank for Africa, UBA, one of Nigeria's oldest financial institutions. This merger wasn't just any ordinary business deal, it was the largest merger in sub-Saharan Africa at the time. The newly formed UBA was now one of the top 3 financial institutions in Nigeria, and Tony was at the helm. But Tony's ambitions didn't stop at making UBA a leading bank in Nigeria. He had a grander vision. His next goal was to expand UBA into the African and global markets, and he wasn't afraid to dream big. Under Tony's leadership, UBA didn't just expand in Africa, it became a truly global player. The bank established branches in over 20 African countries and became the only African bank to operate in the United States, with a presence in major cities like New York, London, and Paris. Tony's strategy was clear: aim high, take risks, and make big moves. He and his team were constantly pushing the boundaries of what was possible in banking. Tony famously said that fulfilling one of their objectives would give the team the energy to pursue the next, and so on, until they had conquered every market they set their sights on. The UBA story wasn't just about growing a bank, it was about transforming an entire financial landscape. Tony's leadership and audacity made UBA a powerhouse not only in Nigeria but across Africa and beyond. But even after these groundbreaking achievements, Tony wasn't ready to rest on his laurels. He had more dreams to chase and more ways to leave his mark on the world. The success of United Bank for Africa, UBA, under Tony Elumelu's leadership is a story of unprecedented growth and expansion. By the time the merger with Standard Trust Bank was complete in 2005, Tony had already set the stage for a banking revolution. His vision for UBA went far beyond just being a top bank in Nigeria. He wanted to make it a global player in the financial world. Tony's strategy for UBA was aggressive, ambitious, and effective. While other Nigerian banks were still focusing on their domestic market, Tony saw the future in Africa. UBA expanded rapidly across the continent, establishing branches in over 20 African countries. But Tony's vision didn't stop there. He wanted UBA to be a global brand. Under his guidance, the bank's footprint grew to key international financial hubs like London, Paris, and New York. This wasn't just about business expansion, it was about changing the perception of African banks on the global stage. One of the most notable achievements of UBA under Tony's leadership was its ability to diversify beyond traditional banking services. UBA became a pioneer in providing a wide range of financial services, from retail banking to investment banking, all while ensuring that its services were accessible to the everyday African citizen. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of UBA's growth under Tony Elumelu was its ability to weather the storms of an ever-changing global financial landscape. While many banks struggled in the wake of the 2008 global financial crisis, UBA not only survived but thrived. Tony's commitment to maintaining a solid and ethical banking foundation helped the bank weather the storm and continue its expansion. By the time Tony stepped down as the CEO of UBA in 2010, the bank had already achieved remarkable success, both in Africa and internationally. It was now a top-tier global bank, known for its innovation, expansion, and leadership in the African banking sector. But Tony Elumelu wasn't ready to fade into the background. Instead of letting UBA's success define his legacy, he turned his attention to a new chapter, one that would focus on his passion for entrepreneurship and his desire to give back to Africa in a more impactful way. After stepping down as CEO of UBA in 2010, Tony Elumelu did not step away from the business world. Instead, he shifted his focus to his long-held passion for fostering entrepreneurship in Africa. But this transition wasn't just about business, it was about leaving a legacy that would transcend him and his immediate success. Tony's next big move was the creation of Heirs Holdings, a family-owned investment firm. Through Heirs Holdings, Tony aimed to continue making a mark on the world by strategically investing in diverse sectors, from hospitality to agriculture. But his focus wasn't just on financial gain. Tony wanted to create a ripple effect, encouraging other young Africans to follow in his footsteps and build their own success. One of the most significant investments Tony made was in the hospitality industry. For years, he had quietly invested in the sector, but in 2007, the time came for him to take a larger stake in one of Nigeria's premier hotels, Transcorp Hilton Hotel. This acquisition, however, came with a controversial twist. At the time, Tony had been in talks with the then chairman of the hotel, Faye Ida, who had helped him secure financial support for the acquisition of UBA. But as Tony quietly increased his shareholdings in Transcorp, a financial crisis hit Ida's side. When Ida was approached by an American firm interested in purchasing his shares in Transcorp, he agreed to sell, only to discover that the supposed American firm was, in fact, Tony Elumelu. This revelation led to a dramatic fallout, with Ida resigning as chairman of the hotel and Tony taking full control. But this bold move was only the beginning. As the majority shareholder, Tony took charge and continued to expand his influence in the hospitality sector, turning the Transcorp Hilton Hotel into one of the most recognized brands in Africa. Beyond his investments, Tony's most profound impact came from his dedication to giving back to Africa. In 2010, he launched the Tony Elumelu Foundation, a non-profit organization aimed at supporting young African entrepreneurs. With his philosophy of Africapitalism, which emphasized the role of the private sector in driving economic growth and social wealth, Tony created an initiative that would revolutionize entrepreneurship across the continent. Through his foundation, Tony has provided funding, mentorship, and training to over 20,000 young African entrepreneurs, equipping them with the tools they need to build businesses and transform their communities. To date, the foundation has invested over $100 million in various projects, and its reach extends to more than 1.5 million young Africans through its digital platforms. This shift from banking mogul to investor and philanthropist may have seemed like a drastic change, but for Tony Elumelu, it was always part of his broader vision to uplift Africa. He wasn't just focused on accumulating wealth for himself, he was dedicated to creating an ecosystem where the next generation of African leaders could thrive. At 61 years old, Tony Elumelu continues to live a life that many only dream of. He's built an empire not just in banking, but across multiple industries, from hospitality to energy, and even technology. His story isn't just about the businesses he's created, it's about the legacy he's shaping, one that will outlast him and continue to inspire future generations. Tony's personal life reflects his commitment to family and values. He is a devoted husband to Vivian Elumelu, whom he married in 1993, and a proud father to 5 children, including triplet daughters. His family is his anchor, and it's clear that no matter how successful he's become, his greatest treasures are the people he holds dear. Tony's luxurious lifestyle is the natural result of years of hard work and immense success. He owns several high-end cars, an exotic mansion in Lagos, and an art collection that could rival some of the world's top galleries. But perhaps the most eye-catching piece of his wealth is his Dassault Falcon 7X, a private jet worth around $60 million. While most billionaires may indulge in lavish experiences, Tony is known for using his wealth to bring joy to his loved ones, often inviting some of Africa's biggest artists to perform at his private family parties. Despite his immense wealth, Tony's true joy comes from his mission to create a better future for Africa. Through his Tony Elumelu Foundation, he has brought together young entrepreneurs, investors, and thought leaders, working tirelessly to create an environment where business can flourish across the continent. Today, UBA, under Tony's leadership, stands tall as one of Africa's leading financial institutions, with branches in 20 African countries and international presence in cities like New York, London, and Paris. The bank has become the symbol of the new African financial system, a system built not just on banking, but on the idea of Africapitalism, a philosophy that positions the private sector as the key to unlocking Africa's potential. Tony is no longer the CEO of UBA, having stepped down in 2010 due to new regulations that limit the tenure of Nigerian bank CEOs. However, his influence on the bank remains strong. As the largest shareholder with a 7% stake in UBA, Tony continues to guide the institution's strategic direction, though he now focuses more on his family's ventures and philanthropic work. In his own words, Tony credits his success to 2 key factors: hard work and luck. He believes that while hard work is essential, there's a certain element of luck that plays a part in every success story. For Tony, luck wasn't just about chance, it was about being in the right place at the right time and seizing opportunities when they arose. He often reflects on the pivotal moment when the chairman of Crystal Bank took a chance on him, a moment he believes changed the trajectory of his life. Tony Elumelu's incredible journey is proof that while success requires immense hard work, it is often a combination of hard work and the right opportunities that truly create a life-changing impact. Looking back at his rise, Tony often attributes his success to 2 powerful forces: hard work and luck. It's clear that hard work was an essential part of Tony's rise. From the very beginning of his career, whether he was a salesman promoting office equipment or working tirelessly at All States Trust Bank, Tony was always willing to put in the effort. His commitment to proving himself, especially when he wasn't the ideal candidate for the job, set him apart. He wasn't afraid to do the grunt work, and it was this dedication that helped him climb the corporate ladder at a rapid pace. However, Tony's story also highlights the undeniable role that luck played in his journey. There were moments where it wasn't just his efforts that shaped his destiny, but chance occurrences that positioned him for extraordinary success. One such pivotal moment came when he wrote that bold cover letter to All States Trust Bank, acknowledging his academic shortcoming but asking for a chance to prove himself. That letter could have easily been overlooked, but the fact that the bank gave him an opportunity changed his life forever. Another critical turning point in his career was the acquisition of Standard Trust Bank. At the time, many thought Tony was taking a huge risk acquiring a failing bank at a time when its future seemed uncertain. But Tony saw potential in the bank where others saw a lost cause. He had the courage to take a risk that would pay off in a way no one could have predicted. His ability to identify opportunities in the most unlikely of places became one of the cornerstones of his success. And then, there was the luck of timing. Tony didn't just land at the right company at the right time, he was also in the right place to lead the biggest banking merger in sub-Saharan Africa. His vision for UBA's expansion beyond Nigeria and his ability to anticipate the future of banking were crucial to the success of the merger with United Bank for Africa. This merger would propel Tony and UBA to new heights, cementing his place as one of Africa's most influential business figures. As Tony often reflects, the lesson in his story isn't just about the hard work it took to get to the top, it's about seizing the opportunities when they arise. And sometimes, those opportunities come through sheer luck. Tony's journey is a reminder to all of us that success doesn't always follow a predictable path. Sometimes, it's a matter of being prepared when the right opportunities knock and having the vision to recognize them. For Tony Elumelu, it was the combination of relentless effort and the ability to take advantage of lucky breaks that truly made all the difference. Tony's story isn't just about banking, it's about resilience, vision, and the power of perseverance. His ability to combine these qualities with a bit of luck has not only shaped his personal legacy but also transformed Africa's financial landscape. This brings us to the end of Tony Elumelu's remarkable journey. From a small-town boy with big dreams to one of the most influential billionaires in Africa, his story is a testament to what is possible when hard work, vision, and timing come together. Tony's legacy will continue to inspire generations to come, and his work through the Tony Elumelu Foundation will ensure that the next wave of African entrepreneurs will have the same opportunity to succeed as he did. Thank you for staying with us through this journey. We hope Tony Elumelu's story has inspired you to dream big, work hard, and never stop believing in the power of your own vision. If you've been inspired by Tony's story, don't forget to hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and let us know what part of Tony's journey impacted you the most. We'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories of visionaries, entrepreneurs, and the people changing the world. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on the latest content we have in store. Thank you for watching, and remember, your dreams are within reach. Keep pushing forward, just like Tony did. See you in the next video.